The frozen gales of Cather 9 screamed through the canyon, sounding like the death cries of collapsing stars. Sergeant Alina Cross pressed herself against the jagged ice wall, forcing shallow breaths as icy mist escaped her lips. The temperature was far below survivable levels, and blood leaked through the crude wrap around her shattered leg, painting the snow beneath her boots a deep red. The Vraxian hunters were close. Too close. Their sharp, clicking calls echoed between the canyon walls, growing louder by the second. Alina tightened her grip on her rifle, empty. She had done what she came to do. She had bought the Licoros pack time, and that was enough. The Licoros were new to the Galactic Council, barely 3 decades into interstellar society. Tall, wolf-like beings with shimmering silver fur and glowing golden eyes, they were powerful fighters bound by instinctive pack loyalty. But their cubs, their future, were vulnerable. When the Vraxians attacked the settlement, deliberately targeting the nursery, Alina never paused to think. Humans never did when children were threatened. She had guided 15 terrified cubs through hidden tunnels beneath the ice, away from the slaughter above. 15 pairs of frightened golden eyes had followed her, the strange furless alien who spoke their language awkwardly and smelled of metal, smoke, and stubborn resolve. She delivered them safely to the deep caves where the elders waited. Then she stayed behind. The tunnel collapse had stopped the hunters, but it also shattered her leg and buried her under tons of ice and stone. By the time she clawed her way free, bleeding and broken, the Vraxians had already found another route. Now she was cornered, injured, and out of options. A fitting way to die, she thought bitterly. Humans were good at that, going down fighting. The voice was young, high, and shaking, but steady with resolve. Alina's head snapped up. Through the swirling snow she saw Thane, the lead cub. The one who had spoken for the others in the dark. The one whose intelligence far exceeded his 6 short solar years. He wasn't alone. 14 more small figures stepped into view, emerging from behind frozen ridges. All the cubs. Every single one had returned. "What are you doing here?" Alina rasped, fear and anger twisting her words. "I got you out. You were supposed to stay with the elders." Thane stepped closer, trembling, not from fear, but from cold and exhaustion. "Elders say humans are pack," he said simply. "Human saved cubs. Cubs save human. That is pack way." Alina tried to stand. Pain exploded through her leg and forced her back down. "This isn't your fight," she said urgently. "The Vraxians are right behind us." "Yes," Thane replied calmly. "We know. We led them away from Elder Cave. We led them here." The truth hit her hard. These children had used themselves as bait. Brave, reckless, impossible children. The canyon erupted as the Vraxians charged in, towering insectoid monsters with bladed limbs and steel-ripping mandibles. Their compound eyes locked onto the cubs with predatory certainty. Thane stepped in front of Alina. The others formed a defensive arc, hackles raised, growls rumbling from tiny throats. Against the massive hunters, they were nothing, but they did not flee. Alina grabbed Thane's shoulder. "Trust me," she said quickly. "When I say run, you run straight at them. Between their legs. Don't stop." Thane nodded. "Humans," Alina added grimly, "are very good at breaking things." The Vraxians lunged. Alina ripped the thermal charges from her vest, the last one she had saved. With steady hands, she armed them and hurled the explosives not at the hunters, but at the canyon walls on both sides. "Run," she screamed. The cubs surged forward like silver lightning, slipping beneath armored limbs with impossible speed. The Vraxians shrieked as the charges detonated. The canyon roared. Ice and stone collapsed in a thunderous avalanche, burying the hunters in an instant. Alina threw herself into a narrow alcove as the world turned into noise and crushing force. When the shaking stopped, silence followed. She coughed blood and ice. Her leg burned. Her ribs screamed. But she was alive. The Vraxians were not. Moments later, frantic paws dug through the snow. 14 frost-covered faces peered down at her. Human is hurt, one cub whimpered. Then we carry her, Thane said firmly. And they did. Working as one, the cubs built a sled from branches and shed fur. They pulled, pushed, rotated without being asked. They shared warmth, water, and strength. 6 long hours later, they reached the Elder Cave. The pack leader approached, silent and awed. Tell them what you learned, he said. Thane stood tall. We learned courage is moving forward while afraid. We learned this from the human who chose cubs over herself. He looked at Alina. Courage is spelled Human. Later, safe and healing, Thane curled beside her. When I grow up, he whispered, I want to be brave like Human. Alina smiled softly. You already are. And for the first time, surrounded by her new pack, she truly rested.